Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar clears the air on her just concluded trip to Brazil. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar maintains her trip was paid for out of her pocket and condemns as mischievous the rumors being spread by the opposition. Larry Lumsden tells us more.
It's been the center of opposition comments for a few days now. A decision by the Prime Minister to attend the FIFA World Cup 2014 in Brazil with her grandson and her son. Since the announcement, the opposition criticized the Prime Minister's trip, saying she abandoned the country at an important time. Speaking to members of the media last evening at the Mandela Appreciation Reception taking place at the Diplomatic Center in St. Anne's, the Prime Minister took time to address the concerns.
I went to Brazil with my grandson and my son. I attended the FIFA World Cup matches and they were electrifying and really wonderful. Look, it's the first time in 4 years since I became Prime Minister. I have taken what you may call a vacation with my family, with my children. And I don't regret one moment of it.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar told reporters this is the first vacation she has had since becoming Prime Minister in 2010, a trip she paid for out of her own pocket. She says her grandson and her son begged her to take the trip and she felt it necessary to accept as it was the only thing they'd ever asked for.
Who paid for my visit? And I could only help but smile. I've been Prime Minister for 4 years. I collect a salary. I am not a pauper, thank you, Lord. I studied very hard. I worked very hard. I still work very hard. Before I became a Prime Minister, I was a practicing lawyer and an MP. Can I not afford to pay for a ticket for myself and my grandson and my son to attend World Cup? So let me make it very clear. I said no government. I will not spend government's money. Now I see some are saying, well, if I'm not spending government money, whose money am I spending? I'm spending money that I earned.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister addressed the allegations of abuse at the St. Michael's Home for Boys, saying that the matter is a troubling one.
The allegations, if true, are very shocking allegations, are indeed very tragic and horrendous to think that children who are already vulnerable would have been subjected to the kinds of actions that the report contains. I recall some time ago, Minister Dikoto had given us, and shared with me, a preliminary report on this matter. I told him to go forward and do further investigations. That report has now come forward. I instructed the Honourable Attorney General to send it, as you know, to the DPP and to the Commissioner of Police. So we look to see whether there would be a criminal investigation into those matters. Again, where it's children concerned, it is really heartrending. And those allegations are things you do not want to read about, hear about, or see happening in any country, far less in our own country.
The Prime Minister also says she is awaiting a report that will propose some recommendations to deal with the children's home.
You remember that we have the legislation with respect to children's homes. The task force headed by Ms. Dana Mabewad, they have advised me they will be completing their report very shortly. When that report comes forward, it will include recommendations with respect to children's homes, and therefore we will be advancing that agenda for greater protection and care for children in children's homes.
Larry Lumsden,